Good morning, guys. It's early morning. Finished some cardio, had breakfast. It's Thursday, 27th. I was a bit rough yesterday. I was in bed all night, all day. Got home from a meeting yesterday and literally had to get into bed early afternoon. Sweats, sore belly, no idea what it was. But got up early today, 6 a.m. to get on the grind. Anyway, due to high demand, I've been asked to do a video on supplements. Specifically, Yamamoto ones. Obviously, I'm sponsored by Yamamoto, so yes, I use a lot of Yamamoto. But I have had a lot of people saying, can you just do a video saying like the best health supps from Yamamoto? And the reason I was kind of reluctant to do it is because honestly, like if you see how many I have, it's like stupid. It's like a library of supplements. And to be able to pinpoint the ones that I think are most vital to people is quite hard to do. But after some thought and consideration, and some simplifying, what do I think people need versus what do I recommend as an extra, I've been able to kind of pinpoint a few 5 notable products that I would recommend for people. This is specifically as well, this is in a pre-contest kind of setting, because I'm pre-contest right now, so I'm thinking from my perspective as of now, whereas I'm sure in the off season I would have maybe a subtle adjustment to supplements that I feel that are most beneficial. Health supplements, I am taking mine now. 2 seconds. I need to take my omegas as well. So you might as well start here then. Supplement number 1. I know the camera's backwards, but this is our Omega Pro. It's a big old hefty boy. So this is a 4 capsule serving, which provides you 4,000 milligrams of fats. Obviously everything in Yamamoto, you'll understand, is written in multiple languages. So you want to look on the back and have a look at the English section. So obviously EPA is DHA is the type of fats that you're trying to get. A lot of fats out there, a lot of these fish oils and whatnot are not of a quality, and though they may say 4 grams of fat per serve, when you look at actual ratios of those essential fatty acids, they're not on par with other products. You go to Holland and Barrett and you buy the cheapest omega-3. Yes, it does consist of omega-3, but what dose? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm going to put a link below because the one thing with Yamamoto, it is hard to see exactly what's in the products unless you go on the site and have a look, because the packaging is not as good at labeling as the website itself. So whenever I need to refer to a product or let anyone know, I always literally give them a link to the website. So the Omega Pro will be the first one. I'll put that in the link description below. That is definitely something I think is essential. Healthy fats, good for hormones, heart health, all-round well-being. And they're something that, unless you eat a wide variety of fatty sources of proteins like salmon, even avocados, whatnot, anything that's obviously of a healthy fat, then you're probably not quite getting enough. And the reason I say pre-contest setting, because the pre-contest setting is a setting where typically you reduce the amount of fat that you eat. Don't get me wrong, there might be a couple of meals a day where you have, i.e. nut butter, maybe salmon, but versus the off season, typically you get less than you would. So that's why I say the Omega Pro is something that you should definitely consider having. So I'll put a link there below. Product number 2, just a general all-round product, is the Multi Pro. Why the Multi Pro? Why not just get that from Foods? Again, I feel like pre-contest, you're putting your body under a lot of strain. CNS is getting a lot more stimulation. You're doing more cardio, you're eating less food, you're up more hours, sleep less. So although you might be having the same amount of, vitamins, minerals and nutrients as an off season, even more, you might introduce more like leafy vegetables and whatnot. I think the demand for them is probably also higher. Therefore, I think to supplement them is smart, just to have some additional as kind of a stable backup to your already existing amount of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that you get from your regular diet. So I would definitely throw in the multi-pro. Is that required in the off season? Maybe not, and that's where I'd probably maybe adjust what I would put in place of that in my top 5. In the off season, I'm a massive fan of using like a GDA to help keep the insulin sensitivity in us as good as possible, because I feel like as soon as that goes out the window, that's when your off season's ended. So if I was to be in an off season setting right now, then the multi-pro probably wouldn't be as essential, because I'll probably be eating a lot more fruit, a lot more vegetables, and I would probably focus more then on insulin sensitivity. Resveratrol is our next product. This is not just resveratrol, guys, though. This is also a combination of resveratrol and coenzyme Q10. Coenzyme obviously really good for the heart, otherwise known as ubiquinol. Resveratrol, from my understanding, is from, I think it's from grape. Let me get some information up for you guys so that we can get some fundamental pointers. And this is where I'll show you actually the site is really beneficial. I was actually just looking at the Vasomil, which is my next product on the list, which is a product I've been using a lot. So let's look at the resveratrol. I'll give you a little rundown on that one. What have I got the resveratrol yet? So this is not the one I want. I want another one. Sorry guys, there's 2 different resveratrols. You've got the combination one that I have, or the regular standard one. So resveratrol is considered an anti-aging nutraceutical capable of modulating a large number of physiological processes in the organism related to aging, whose effects seem to be able to mimic the effects of caloric restriction by activating the sirtuins, and triggering a series of processes that protect the cell from environmental stresses. Resveratrol protects vessels from plaque formation and stimulates the production of nitric oxide, responsible for vasodilation processes, and inhibits platelet activation and aggregation, as well as improving control over blood sugar and insulin sensitivity. Resveratrol reduces oxidative and inflammatory processes, modulating the expression of a large number of genes and enzymes such as telomerase, and favoring the repair of damaged DNA and generally improving the metabolic structure of cell, making it potentially younger. The Resveda brand is the most bioavailable version of resveratrol on the market, boosting the highest standard of quality control and purity from contaminants. Anyway, so that's just a brief rundown of resveratrol. So yeah, to fight against oxidative stress, antioxidants are obviously something that's very, very important. What we do, again, like I was saying earlier, with the vitamins and minerals, the stresses we apply to our body, there's a lot of damage to cells. These processes require energy in order to recover, and they require assistance. And if you can give them as much assistance as possible, that's going to leave you with a lot of energy to focus on other things that matter, in regards to hypertrophy, fat burning, digestion. The more what's the word? The more objectives your body has to cater with at one point in time, the more it has to share the amount of energy it expends in order to see these things all done, the more strain on the body. So if you can assist these processes and make it easier, then you're going to get a better response in all regards, making progress somewhat easier. Again, I'm not saying because you take a pill you're just going to suddenly be much better. But, you know, your objective as a bodybuilder is the 1%. You know, quality of meat. You'd go to a supermarket, and if you saw some rancid looking chicken or some good chicken, you'd always choose the better chicken. It's kind of the same with supplements for me. That's how I am. I'm not saying you all have to be like that. This video is not for me to say you have to take this. These are things that I do, and if you wish to do them and follow suit, then so be it. If it's not in your budget, so be it. I'm not someone that forces anything on anyone. I'm just here to try and just share some of the information that has been requested. So resveratrol, very, very good. And again, the coenzyme Q10, very important. This is the interesting product I've been using a lot lately. This is something I never used before. This is the Vasomil. This is a product designed purely for circulatory health. This has quite a few different ingredients in it. Let me draw this up for you guys. Because this isn't your standard product, put it that way. I know there's fruit extracts, pine bark, horse chestnut, which all things are obviously good for circulation. So yeah, maritime pine, horse chestnut, bromelain. Obviously there's a patent form of flavonoid complex in here. Blueberry extract and mannitol. So let's have a little read here for you guys. Obviously the pine bark is also known as pisogenol. I can't always say that word, but it's a patent blend of oligomeric and these words are long, obtained from the bark of French maritime pine. It contains powerful addictive active bioflavonoids, which among many beneficial characteristics for health, antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, etc., have clinically proven to be a further and effective weapon against venous insufficiency, to strengthen the walls of the capillaries and to prevent edema, even during long journeys by plane, by presenting a very interesting antithrombotic effect. So that was actually something I was suggested to take after having some heart scans by Dante Trudel. So a lot of the products I use consist of ingredients that Dante proposed on the back end of me handing him my results from my CT scan, where there was a little bit of arterial plaque, nothing crazy. I weren't like in the hundreds or nothing, but still early signs of, and I didn't want to. You don't want to leave things like that. If you see any changes occurring in the body, then you need to attend to those. So that's why I approached Dante immediately after this meeting with my private healthcare and put in place a procedure in order to help actually reverse some of these issues that occur, because it is reversible. I spoke to Dante multiple times. He's worked with many people who have been further gone down the line than I have and been able to really help them in getting better. So there's so many things, honestly, guys. Like, again, I'm new to a lot of this stuff. There is another extract in here, Ipocostano. It's a very common plant throughout Europe whose seeds are used obtaining a dry extract containing esxin, the active ingredient which, together with other elements including some flavonoids, give horse chestnut its interesting vasoprotective properties, anti-edema, anti-inflammatory, strengthening the wall of blood vessels, increasing their elasticity and resistance, reducing their permeability, counteracting circulatory problems and water retention, and facilitating venous return. So like stuff like this, like, I'm not trying to just like spill stuff, but I'm educated enough to know that that's very important. And I'm just going to regurgitate stuff straight from the site because I couldn't word it better myself, and there's no point pretending that I can. You know, I'm not... One thing you know about me, and I always make it very apparent, is I've never bodybuilt to be the most educated on it, but I do read and I do take information on board and I do act on it. Yes, I regurgitate, but why not regurgitate from the best? It's like if Jordan told me something, I wouldn't try and reword what Jordan told me, because I'm not going to be able to word it better than Jordan, because Jordan has the best understanding of that concept. So I just literally passing over the information. If you wish to go and have a look at this site and see some of the stuff that's written, all that's perfect. That's great. Then my job's done. And again, do you have to take this brand? No, you don't. You can take whatever you want. I just know that this brand has all the testing, has all the research, has the financial backing, and has the patent quality products that I am much more content in having and feel better about putting in my body. I've spent years going on Amazon and buying stuff because it's affordable. It did its part, but you know, the more serious you get, the higher you climb, the more you know you have to take care of yourself and try to eke out the best, the best progress you can. And sometimes that's just the small choice between quality and not having the same quality. So yeah, circulatory health is obviously very, very fundamental. Let me go back for you, just give you some more benefits on the omegas, why you should take omegas, just so that you're not like, oh, so why were we going to take fats again? Omega Pro. So maintaining the normal blood triglyceride levels, maintaining the normal brain function and normal vision, cardiac function. This fish oil is purified by concentrated triglyceride form. The intake of EPA is 2,234 milligram and DHA is 960 milligram per dose. So these are IFOS certified as well. Best known quality certification is the one represented by the IFOS, International Fish Oil Standards. Based on results and analysis, IFOS assigns a quality score omega-3, publishes the results of the tests conducted in its laboratories and in its database. To date, there are hundreds of omega-3 supplements available on the market, but very few have IFOS certifications. This goes back to what I was just saying right now about quality. Omega Pro 240 soft gels by Yamamoto Nutrition is on the categories Health and Wellness Omega 369 fish oil. The IFOS certification is therefore synonymous with absolute quality at the top end of this category. Perfect. So, and the last one, glutathione. Glutathione sticks. So glutathione, I always used to take glutathione for my liver. So let's delve into that. Have a little research on that one. GLR. So GLR and Cetria sublingual is formulated in fast dissolving sublingual tablets where stevia glutathione will be rapidly absorbed by the sublingual tributary venous circulation of the superior vena cava, bypassing the intestinal activity of gamma glutamate, whatever the hell. Absorption occurs in the buccal level and avoiding enterocyte metabolic avidity and skipping the heptic filter, preventing the first pass liver metabolism that largely deactivates the molecule, remembering that hepatocytes are particularly abundant. So from my understanding, basically the way that this one is absorbed is obviously bypassing a process which would kind of down regulate the quality of the product. I know that glutathione is something that a lot of the versions out there are not bioavailable. So essentially this is a very bioavailable form. Let's have a look, see if I can actually give you some. So you get L-glutathione reduced in Cetria form, 250 milligram per serving, with vitamin C at 80 milligram per serving and selenium at 55 micrograms per serving. And there you go. Here's a little report. Within scientific community, it's known that glutathione is one of the main protective molecules in the body. It has long been discussed whether glutathione levels could be supplemented or not by taking oral glutathione, and clinical data was lacking. Reported Dr. Ritchie, the researcher's phrase significant. We now have the evidence to illustrate the potential benefits of glutathione supplementation. The study measured the effect of glutathione supplementation with Cetria on glutathione levels in 54 healthy adults between the ages of 28 and 72 years old. A group of subjects were given 250 milligram a day, a second group 1,000 milligram a day, and a third group 470 milligram a day of placebo. Glutathione levels were measured for 6 months in various parts of the blood, including this erythrocytes, whatever they are, red blood cells, and lymphocytes, white blood cells, and the mucosal wall within the cheeks. The study showed that with both doses, the levels of glutathione in the blood increased after 1, 3, and 6 months compared to the baseline levels. After 6 months, mean glutathione levels increased 30 to 35% in the red blood cells, plasma, and the white blood cells, and 206% in oral mucosa in the high dosage group. Another factor to consider is that the study showed that daily supplementation of 1,000 milligram increased the functionality of NK white blood cells by more than a factor of 2 in 3 months. NK lymphocytes are key agents for the normal functioning of the immune system because they quickly identify and kill abnormal cells. This doubling of cytotoxicity in NK cells means that NK lymphocytes are twice as effective in eliminating abnormal cells such as those suffering from viral or tumor infections. A secondary analysis of the data also indicated that the daily supplementation of 250 to 1,000 milligram of patent stereo formula can result in a strong decrease in oxidative stress in 6 months. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. I just wanted to give you a rundown on that. I find it very interesting. But anyway, yeah, so just to go through that one more time, we have the Omega Pro, which is your essential fatty acids. We have our Multi Pro, which is obviously just our all-round multivitamins and minerals. We have our resveratrol combined with our coenzyme Q10, our glutathione sticks in Cetra form, and our Vasomil there. So that is my top 5 products for now. Hope that video was helpful, and I'll put a link below to the website because it's really the website that provides you with the information. I'm just here to say what I do, but you want to make up your own mind. I'm not here to force anyone to take anything. You are your own people. Do your thing, and hope that's helpful. There are far more educated people out there than me that can come in and probably tell you more in the comments. Totally understand that. I am not claiming to be the most intelligent person when it comes to this. I'm purely a bodybuilder who likes to train hard, take his supplements and feel good about himself, and try not to die in the process. So, guys, hopefully that was helpful. I will do one in an off-season setting as well, but for now, that is my pre-contest health supplement regime. Thank you, guys.